Howdy, howdy, ho! What's up, guys? This is my King series with Josh, and for those of you in the chat, you know that Josh is still king, so I can say that this King series wasn't very successful. So let's see what happened. I played very well this game. I mean, this series. I just made dumb mistakes, and Josh took advantage because Josh is a really good player. So, which is why he's king. So let's see. Josh is being a little greedy, you know, by not getting that third tier monkey. And I take advantage and send him some bloom boosted pinks. And I get lives early, so I'm happy with that. And I build that second dog monkey, but I'm as of now I'm exploring new ways to not have to build that second dart monkey, you know, to defend those pinks on A game. I think it's works pretty well. So I send him round 6 blacks, which I always do on A game because you'll always get a leak. I don't really need to send it, but Josh wasn't really defending that much, so I wanted to send him some blacks, you know, get him to upgrade that dart monkey. And I'm also being a little greedy also, and he sends me some regal yellows to make me upgrade. And Josh is being greedy, which he's a greedy player like most of the good farmers, but he has good enough micro to be able to be greedy. So he bloom boosts his regal leads, and I just build up a quick wizard, and I send him some regal whites. I've started to think that the Regal Whitewash isn't really worth it, especially if you're up on lives. If you're down on lives and you think it'll work, do it. But the Regal Whitewash isn't really like worth it. And then I sent him some camo zebras, and it's like in my mind it's a good idea, but since camo zebras are so expensive, it just won't work. Like I would have to sell a farm in order to send a really effective rush, and I don't want to do that. So I just send them what I can, and the camera zebra rush didn't really work. It probably would have been better just to send them like regrow zebras instead of camo. But we go on. I believe we're equal in farming. He still has 1 jug. I still have 1 jug, and he is selling to get the fan club, not the fan club, but the factory. And then he tries to get me to sell my factory to get fan club, which I don't. So build up a few chippers, and I defend it pretty well. And he's constantly rushing me, and he still only has one juggernaut. But the naturals are killing both of us. But I try to send him my rush. I get him to sell his farm, and I don't have any battle energy left. And I try to build defense to defend, but I just lose all the lives. So that game goes to him because I just could not defend the naturals well. Because we both were under defending. But that's just how me and Josh play. We under defend, and we try to get as much eco as we can before round 22, because that's when the Zoma God come out. And you know, if you don't have enough money to defend that Zoma God, you'll lose every time. So we pick offside. This is me and Josh. This is both our like usual map to pick if we lose a game. So this map would have been second either way. So Josh and I think this spot I have my Dark Monkey in right now is a really good spot. I've always struggled to put him in a good pink spot, and Josh uses his battle energy to combat the pinks, while I just build up a second Dark Monkey and then send him a bloom boosted, and he sends me a bloom boosted, which wasn't really smart because I had my battle energy, so I would want to be able to defend it easily. And then he's once again being a little greedy, and I send him some greens layered with pinks, and that definitely that gets lives on him. And then he sends me back some blacks, I guess as you know, as a way of saying you suck for sending me that rush and getting lives. So then he sends blacks on round 7, which is always good to do because round 7 the AI is actually pretty clustered, and blacks mixed in there can get some lives if you don't have 3 dart monkeys. I can't see his farms, but I think we're pretty even. I have 5 5 1-0s, which is the same as saying I have a two 2-2-0s and one 1-1-0. But I think right there he gets above me in farms because he doesn't get the Juggernaut to get the lead popping power. And then he sends me some Zebras and I get up Chipper. Then I sell my ice that I was using to pop the leads and get the Juggernaut. Then I send him some Zebras, you know, because his defense isn't really that much. So I'm sending some Zebras to make him leak. He's leaking a lot. As far as farm eco goes, I believe we're on like even here. Yeah, we're pretty much even. Josh is doing his best to get ahead of me in farming. I think he did it right there by selling something. And then he sends this rush, which was one of the smartest rushes, because I had none of my dart monkeys on camo detection, and he sends that rush and gets a lot of lives. That was one of the biggest mistakes, because round 17, I still didn't have any monkeys on half camo detection, so it was one of the not a good game for me right there, because that was really smart by Josh to send that rush, because I'm not sure if he knew I didn't have camo detection, but I guess he was just seeing if I did or not. And at this point I'm like, I gotta kill him because he got the lives and he's probably gonna he has farm advantage, and I'm like, I gotta kill him because that rush was so smart that it shocked me. I didn't expect that. So I'm just being really aggressive right now. Really aggressive. And Josh is really good at defending, so my aggression is being countered easily. And I leak more lives. He sends leads, and I build more defense to build it. And then he sends me that. And I thought I didn't need fan club, but apparently I did, so I lose that one. And then we go to steps, and I've gotten a little better at steps. I'll say that I've gotten a little better. I usually not pick it really because I only played steps because back in the good old days, this was Alex's go-to map when he lost Pyramid Steps, and on that one game where I beat Alex, you know, using chipper stall with only 4 chippers, I realized I was actually pretty good at steps. So I pick steps every now and again if I don't have any other, because I don't like temple. Temple ends in a draw too much, but steps it doesn't really end in a draw, and plus you can kill people if they're not careful. So steps is pretty good. So we both send each other pinks, and he's leaking a lot more because I think he's even a little more greedy than I am, because I get up a 3rd tier dart, you know, immediately, and then I sell to get to be a little greedy. But I don't be greedy, like I don't be greedy as the round is going. I'll wait till round end, then I try to be greedy. But you know, maybe I'll switch it up every now and again. I try to be greedy when a round is going, or I'll wait till round is end, because I'm pretty good at microing. I've gotten pretty good with this Android phone, so I'm willing to bet I can micro a good defense if I needed to. Now Josh uses his NG on round 9, and round 9 has gotten longer since the update, so usually with this rush I don't go for it, but with how many lives he has, I think that it'll work, and it did work. So I beat Josh on steps, and then Josh picks Hydro Dam. Josh, ever since we went to the new season, Josh hasn't really picked Hydro Dam, so this was a sort of a surprise. You know, I would think Josh would think this map is more luck than skill, because literally whenever somebody picks this map, I just wait till round 13, then I go all out on them, because this map is really hard to defend. It's really hard if you're not farming well to get a defense up for round 13, you know, if you don't know how to do it right. So I don't like picking this map. Most people in MCOF don't really, well, some people do it. Some people have actually started picking this map a little bit more. But so I'm sending Josh's 1-0 sub some pinks. He boom boosts, then he sells to get the airburst darts. And I'm using my usual boat strat to get this bow strat is actually pretty good. I'll say so myself. Even the lines, I didn't even know they're doing the game, but this bow strat is actually pretty good because I don't like subs on Hydro Dam anymore because they're just not as reliable as before. So I just pick boats now, and I've gotten pretty good with him. So, like right now, he leaked about 14 lives, and he had a 2-0 with a airburst dart. So that's how you know subs are just not that much worth it anymore. Then I sent him. I think he was trying to make me use my battle energy on that, so I just said no and build more defense. And he then sends me leads, and I get up the cannon ship. And I don't really defend the leads well because the leads were pretty far ahead, but he doesn't really defend the leads either. And then I seen Cerebral Whites trying to make him use the boundary, which he does. And we both sin. And I die first, so GG Josh. Hello again. So with this series, I don't know. I felt like I played well, but I didn't seal the deal well enough. You know, like my start was pretty good. I was getting on every game I had lives on Josh, but I just could not defend well because, well, one, I was being a little aggressive, and two, I was, well, on A game it was the naturals, and naturals are always pretty bad on A game, and then on offside, Josh actually, like, his veteran rush really did kill me. But it was just a bad game defending for me. I was good at attacking. I attacked. I got a lot of lives. I even beat him on steps with all my attacks. But I just could not defend well on that game. I mean, well on any of the games because like, my micro was a little bit too slow. My placement was a little bit off. My building, my decisions were a little bit bad, so it wasn't that big of a good of a game for me. As for Josh, well, I won't tell Josh not to be greedy because Josh, that's how Josh plays. He's good enough to micro around all the really good players are good enough to micro around rushes when they're being greedy. So, I would just say, if you're being greedy, make sure you're actually getting ahead in farming, because there are a lot of times where I play somebody who's being greedy and they're not getting anywhere above me in farming. They might be ahead of me by 1 or 2 bananas, and that's $120. They could send a rush the next round and waste $120. So if you're going to be greedy, Josh and everybody else who's being greedy, make sure when you're being greedy, you're getting ahead in farming. Because there's no point in being greedy if your opponent is not being greedy and still farming just the same as you. It's just like, when you pass somebody on the street and you're driving, for those of you who do drive, and you end up at the same red light. You pass them for a reason. You want to get in front of them because you want to get somewhere faster, yet you end up at the same red light. So there was no point of even doing that. You had the same result. You would have got the same result if you stayed behind that person. Just as in this game, you would, unless you're really passing somebody, unless you're really ahead of somebody by like a whole farm upgrade before the next round starts, then there's no point of being greedy, So that's my whole thing about being greedy and how Josh plays. Josh, other than that, Josh just did what Josh does, and he rushed well, and he played well, and he did things very well. So I guess that's it for me in this analysis. I'll see you guys later.